Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Before we get started, me and DC Soap Sanctuary are going to be doing a collab video. And, one of the videos that we're going to be doing, that's going to be coming out soon. Still got some stuff to work out, but the, theme of the video will be the best and the worst storylines from 2002 up until now. So, give us your top best and top worst episodes. Top best and one of the best storylines and one of the worst storylines two of the best storylines and two of the worst storylines. And we're going to be sitting there talking about it. So, that's going to be the theme of the video that we're going to be sitting there putting out soon. Best and worst storylines from 2001 to 2000 now. So if anyone can think of anything, please let us know. I know that DC Sanctuary is going to be putting up a poll on his Twitter, and I always read the comments and stuff like that, so definitely write down your thoughts. This episode had one amazing thing and one interesting thing, and everything else would just... I watched a few minutes of Brock TV's video, and he was like, we're finally getting somewhere, and I'm like, yeah, we're getting somewhere. We're like at snail's pace, but we moved up a little bit, somewhat. Let me just skip right on to the best part, which was Cyrus. Oh my goodness, seeing Cyrus was like a breath of fresh air. I'm sitting there watching this episode and I'm like, literally. And then the minute that I see an orange jumpsuit and I see that ponytail, I woke up. I woke up and here he is sitting there talking to, I think his name is Boshida Novak. He's talking to one of the Novaks. And I'm like, yes, now it's getting interesting. Yes, this is what... My goodness. Why did it take this long? See, that's something that kind of pisses me off. That it took that long for it to start to get good. The whole time you got Jason and Carly sitting there talking about Cyrus as far as a threat. And, he's coming after, he came after Laura and Martin. And they're pretty much next. So they're sitting there thinking the best way they could sit there and come at Jason and Carly. And I don't remember who said what, but somebody was like, maybe he's already planning it. Like, maybe the plan is already in motion. They sitting there and they thinking about Vincent, I think that's his name. And the way he approached Jason as far as sending Joey, I think that's his name, the younger guy. He was like, we're sending him away because I didn't really sit there and like how he was, walking up to Carly's daughter like that. Like, that's just disrespectful. So, we can't have that. And I'm definitely going to bring it up to the next, in the next meeting. So, they felt like it was just really suspicious in general. So they're definitely going to keep their eye on him. Where pretty much it's just like, yo, listen, we got to sit there and be ready for anything. That was literally their whole conversation. You got the camping trip going on with Liz, Chase, and Finn. All that really happens is they start to get closer. It looks like they're about to kiss Elizabeth and Finn. And that was pretty much about it, more or less. Yeah. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Everything else, did they got like a new Danny or something? Is that new Danny or new? Not new Danny. New Jake. I guess I got a new Jake now, or a new Aiden. I don't really know. Like, I don't remember Liz calling, the kid by a specific name. So, um, one of the two. So yeah, that was that scene more or less. Liesl and Scotty got kidnapped by someone. They put on the oxygen mask or whatever. Because it looked like the plane was like descending or whatever, so it got them to like put on the oxygen mask or whatever. And the minute that they did, they were knocked out. Two guys are speaking in some language that I don't know if it's like Russian or I have no idea. But they're speaking in some language, and like, yeah, we got her. And pretty much it's like, yo, what are we gonna do about this guy? I'm already sitting there thinking it's probably Peter. And also the minute that they was like, all right, we got her, she's sedated or whatever. I'm like, since they already got her, they don't really need him. And one of the guys just like, all right, chuck him. I'm like, damn. I'm sitting there looking at this whole situation. I'm like, why do I have a feeling like Scotty's gonna go? I don't think he will, because he's one of those fan favorites that's been there for, well, he's been on the show longer than I've been watching it, obviously. Hell, I think he was even, well, he was obviously on Port Charles. But, I don't think they're going to kill him off, but, at this point, I don't know. But yeah, they're kidnapped. Which I was sitting there, I was guessing that's what it was, in the previews. Jocelyn and Trina's scene was just absolutely useless. Well, like, nearly useless. The only thing that wound up happening was because, they're in Jax's apartment, his place, and they're gonna sit there and make him some dinner, I guess, to kind of like smooth things over between, I don't know, I guess ease the tension between Jax and Carly. So they're making this recipe. So they're making some sort of recipe, and, it's not they're trying to think about, like, what to add in there, like, as far as, like, appetizers and stuff. And Trina sits there, and he's like, she's like, I can get some of the sauce. I got some sauce from Nixon Falls. So, she's gonna sit there and get the sauce. She came back with Sunny sauce, so I don't know. I guess at some point people would sit there and taste it and kind of realize, like, this tastes really familiar. Other than that, their whole scene was entirely pointless. I just really did not care at all. Dante, Anna, and Sam. The only thing that they sat there and really sat there and did for a whole hour was just theories. As far as Drew's plane, who could be the mystery person that was also on the plane that was supposed to be scheduled. They talk about the SWB as far as it may be corrupt, and it doesn't really has a lot of clout there because, after the whole Peter incident, she's not really in good standard. Hell, even the like the stuff, like the map and everything, like all the paperwork that Anna got from the bureau or whatever. There's nothing looking at like, yo, maybe somebody just gave her that because they want to sit there and throw her off. Like somebody, that's in the higher ups is sitting there covering. They're also sitting there thinking that maybe, I guess a sector in the SWB are the people that is responsible for, Drew's plane crash, his capture and everything like that. Just a lot of hints and theories, and that was pretty much about it. That's pretty much all they did. A lot of theories and not really a lot of anything else. Which was really boring to watch. I mean, it was interesting, but at the same time, it's like, it didn't go anywhere. You know, they're just sitting around in the table, sitting there looking at the paperwork, playing guesswork. Okay, alright. Nixon falls without Peter. Nixon falls without Peter is just like, I mean, I guess the only part that was a little bit interesting was when, you know, Nina was like, you know, why'd you get so upset with, you know, Peter? Like, what did he say or anything like that? And, you know, Sonny was like, he seemed like he knew me. Like, he kept, like, taunting into my face. And the look on Nina's face, like, you know, that worried look, like, oh, man, like, you know, he's asking a lot of questions. I don't know how to answer this. And at some point, she's like, all right, you know, we're going to be going on our date. Let's not talk about Peter anymore. Like, no, let's keep talking about Peter. Sonny, ask some more questions. But, no, all they did was want them going on their date, so... Yay for that reason. You know, honestly, to tell you the truth, I can't wait to actually have this damn cake. And it's a good thing I didn't actually buy that early. You know how spoiled that thing would have been? Which is... It's one of those things where it's like it just went way too long as far as this whole Nixon Falls Sonny storyline and of him not remembering anything. It just... But yeah, that was pretty much about it. Like I said, this episode was just like... And watching them kiss, oh my God, I just... Oh, and apparently, Scott says that he loves, Scotty says that he loves Obrick. Before, apparently, they thought they were going to die. So I don't know if that's real love or is that just, you know what, listen, we're about to die, I'm going to sit there and say I love someone. So, yeah, I guess we'll find that out at some point. And Sean and Jordan agrees to work together. Because, you know, Jordan's like, listen, we could sit there and cover more ground. Sean's going to sit there and do his own thing anyway. So it's better for us to sit there and do it together than to sit there and do it apart. Plus, I guess Jordan feels like she can keep an eye out on Sean. So, you know, and since Sean is clearly not going to sit there and listen to her anyway, she's like, you know what? Let's just do it together. So they're going to be sitting there working on the Hayden Barnes case. Which should be cool because it'll give Jordan something to do. Yeah. And I want to thank you. I don't remember exactly who, but somebody in the comment section recommended I watch it on Delma or something like that. I think that's what it's called. Because I was watching the episode, 26 minutes in, news interruption. Try to watch it on YouTube, and I got like bits and pieces of it. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. This episode was somewhat so dry that I was like, screw it. But I was like, you know what? Let me sit there and check out the site, and I saw all the other parts that I missed. So, and for some odd reason, it seemed like it wasn't coming on Hulu yet, which is really odd because they constantly sit there and say, "Oh, just go to Hulu and watch it on Hulu," and it just was not there. So, let me just double check my notes. I honestly think that's about it. Besides Obrick and Scotty being kidnapped and Cyrus working with one of the Novak people, this episode didn't really do much. It really didn't. The thing is that this, you know, watching this episode, you can see that it's setting, you know, they're setting up for like a really big, good story. The problem is, we're not there yet, you know? And at this point, we're watching all this setup and the build-up, and it's great in theory, but like, watching Anna, Dante, and Sam sit there and talk about theories about, you know, is it WSB, you know, SBW, whatever that bureau is it corrupt? You know, what's going on with Drew? Like, just sitting around and talking about it, it's just like, this is so boring. Can you do, I literally had to sit there and pause it, get up and walk around because I just can't. I really do feel like sometimes whenever I stop watching, like whenever I stop my review, and sometimes I'll watch Brock TV's video afterwards, and it's like, man, this guy is so much more nicer than me. He is so much more lenient than I am, because I'm looking at this like there was 2 good parts in this whole thing, and everything else was nearly pointless, and I just really didn't care about. I mean, I guess if you're in it for the whole Liz and Finn hooking up, then alright, cool. They both got wet, they're both snipped there by fire, but they need body heat, so they get closer, and if you're shipping those 2, and that's cool. If you're not, then I guess that sucks. I don't really care either way, so it just really didn't matter to me. Yeah, I think that's about it. So if I missed anything, please write it down in the comment section below. Honestly, to tell you, if you didn't watch this episode, just watch some clips from YouTube, and you'll be. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I think that watch the Cyrus and one of the Novax guys talk, because that was like the best part, and watch some of the Scott stuff. Scotty and Liesl getting kidnapped. Those 2 are the best parts. Everything else was like you could have missed this episode and watched it and read the snaps, and you would have been fine. It's some of these episodes get to that point where it's just like you don't even have to watch the whole episode. You just watch my review or watch Brock TV's review, and you'll be all caught up. Or hell, even watch because you know he's back on DC Sanctuary soap opera. I mean DC Soap Sanctuary. You can watch his recap, and you'll be all caught up. With episodes like this, but it is going to get good at some point, and I was sitting there thinking about that. Now I'm just going to ramble for a bit. I was sitting there thinking about that. Like, I went back and watched like one of my old reviews, like, you know, during the whole like Cyrus stuff and the whole Julian stuff, and you know, like when it was actually good. And I remember watching it, I was like, man, I was so excited. Like, look how happy I am, and it's like, look how happy I am, and man, I've gained so much more weight now than in some of those videos. But the point is, it's going to get to that point again when it's going to get good. So I am definitely looking forward to that. With that being said, I think that's about it. Like I said before, me and DC Soap Sanctuary is going to be doing a best and worst storylines from 2001 to 2000, well, until now. So let me know what your thoughts are, the best and the worst episodes, best and the worst storylines. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Be safe. I will catch you in the next video.